22 years ago today, the Twin Towers went down in New York City. And on that day, September 11th, 2001, many people feared that Walt Disney World would also be a target. This is a story of what happened at Walt Disney World on 9/11 and how Disney kept their guests and cast members safe. When the first tower was hit, many people in the USA and in the world thought that it was a mistake. But after the second tower was hit, they realized this was a terrorist attack. Disney sprung into action very quickly. Disney executives met with SeaWorld and Universal, and they all made a decision at the same time to close the parks. No one fully understood what was going on at that time, so they didn't know if they were being rash and acting too quickly or if that was the best choice. But by making it together, all the major theme parks would be closed and there wouldn't be any issues with guests. And of course, this ended up being the absolute right decision. Now on the West Coast, Disneyland did not even open for the day. California is 3 hours behind, so those parks never opened. They put messaging up, and that was actually a very historical thing. Because the only time ever that Disneyland was closed was for JFK's passing. However, Walt Disney World had been open for many hours. So Disney quickly put a plan into action. Cast members formed a human chain, sort of like what you would see at the beach when you're looking for someone who is lost. And they slowly walked, getting all guests in front of them to herd them onto Main Street. And there was an announcement playing that said, due to unforeseen circumstances, Disney World had to close. Now, cast members were also told to not tell guests what was happening unless they asked. This was a time before cell phones and things, so a lot of guests were not aware of what was happening. Once the park was empty, all of the guests returned to their Disney resort hotels. And this could have caused major issues, but Disney reacted very well. All of the planes in the United States were grounded at that time, which meant that anyone who's planning on flying out in the next few days couldn't. So Disney very quickly worked to find them accommodations on property. Disney also sent different characters down to the lobbies to interact with guests, especially children, because it was a very, very sad day. And they wanted to do whatever they could to make guests feel comfortable. And all of the guests who had been planning to eat at the park then had to eat at the resorts. So Disney also made sure that there was enough food for everyone. The next day, the theme parks did reopen on September 12th. Disney had major precautions in place. This was really the first time they had anything like the bag check that we see today. It was a very slow process. They had never done this before. There were plenty of Orange County sheriffs on property, and they even had people open up different devices to check the batteries to make sure they were really batteries. Again, everyone, Disney, the government, guests were very concerned that Disney could be another spot that people would try to target, whether affiliated with the Twin Towers attacks or not, like a copycat. Disney also got their air rights above the Magic Kingdom restricted. And that still holds true to this day over Magic Kingdom and some of the surrounding area. And luckily, there were no issues at this time at Disneyland or Disney World or any of the Disney theme parks worldwide. But 9/11 did have a major impact in a few ways on the parks. Disney brought their security to a whole new level after this. And their security was one of the reasons that Disney was not targeted when the Pulse was. Because actually, originally, Disney was that target. But their security in place for the past 20 years or so has really made a difference. And the second thing was that 9/11 had a massive, massive impact on Disney's tourism. And it played a major role in why many things were canceled, abandoned, or closed.